So this chapter starts with an extended fight sequence between Goku and Granolah. So extended that we actually don't even get dialogue until like the 12th page of this chapter. But this is actually like a pretty good round to their fight, you could say. Like Toriyama and Toyotaro are really playing to their strengths in this chapter, and I think it pays off well. But in this we get like a back and forth. Both are landing big shots, but also getting their own individual counters and their own sequence of getting knocked through trees, until it gets to the point of where Goku almost looks like frustrated kind of, and he does like an uncharacteristic move here. It's almost like that attack that Trunks does to Cell when he goes back to the future. I think it's called like Heat Dome or something like that. But I guess this is also like a way for Goku to like reset everything, because after this we see him like regain his composure, and Granolah reveals that he's now going into Ultra Instinct while in Super Saiyan Blue, because he's like, your blood flow and the movements of your cells have changed. You must have activated that evasion technique. Is it the same as when you had red hair? Because I already know the in and outs of that, referring to the previous chapter where Goku had used Ultra Instinct with Super Saiyan God. But then Goku says Blue plus Ultra Instinct won't be so easy to counter, and Goku certainly wasn't lying when he said that, because he successfully evades all of Granolah's follow-up attacks after this, and winds up actually hitting Granolah with the Cell Games Kamehameha combo. But just at the very last second, Granolah is able to hit Goku in a vital point, but it's not completely nullifying the Kamehameha, and he is getting hit by this, but I guess not to the full extent that he would have if he didn't hit Goku with the vital point in the last second. But when the smoke clears, we see that Goku was more affected in this exchange than Granolah was, just by getting hit in that vital point. Because once again, this completely reverts Goku back to his base form and down for the count. Like, I'm pretty sure this is the third time Granolah has done this to Goku so far. And Granolah's like, stronger attacks, faster evasion, they won't help you. My right eye will always lock onto your vital point. Keep that in mind, because we're going to find out that apparently that's not always the case. And then Granolah's like, no matter what transformation you use, no one has 0 openings. And I guess that's true to an extent, or at least it's proven with the control group that we have here. But it makes me wonder, like, does that apply to like Grand Priest or the Angels? But then Goku also says something interesting here, and he's like, no, Ultra Instinct should have no weaknesses. If anything's lacking, it's gotta be my training. I'm not totally used to using Ultra Instinct as a Super Saiyan, so I'm still vulnerable. And Granolah's basically like, oh, well, that sucks. You're never going to complete the technique because I'm going to kill you. The Saiyan line ends here by my hand, just as you ended my people. And Goku's confused by this because he doesn't have the information that the audience does at this point. Then Granolah does this crazy Moro-esque like energy planet geyser attack thing. Then Goku nopes out of there with an instant teleportation and winds up next to Vegeta. And then Goku himself says that like the attack that Granolah did looks like what Moro was able to do. And I'm pretty sure this is said and shown for a reason, because it's like the recurring thing that's been going on with Granolah. He has like access to a lot of the strongest abilities that we've seen in the series so far, but at the same time it's kind of implied that maybe it's not directly one-for-one recreations of those techniques, but maybe like his own proprietary version. I think this is all leading to like a reveal about like the truth about Granolah's power-up that he's gotten from the dragon. Like, it's possible that through the, magic wishery, that the dragon was able to like pick the best techniques and abilities from the universe and then give those to Granolah, so that way he is truly the strongest in the universe because he has like all of the best stuff. If it is actually fully explained as to what's going on with Granolah's power set here, I'm sure it will be way more of a simplified version of what I'm going to say, but I've always kind of gotten the feeling that there's kind of like an Akashic Records out there in the Dragon Ball world, at least pertaining to like all of the most powerful stuff, and that's somehow what the dragon can see and then pick what he wants to give Granolah like the best level of power and the best move set to complement it. But anyway, Vegeta's like, I know who he must be. I've heard of old tales of a tribe in this area with right eyes specialized for sniping, and it was the Saiyans under Freiza's command who wiped them out. We likely stand amidst the ruins left behind that very invasion, so Granolah is most likely the survivor of that tribe. And they realize that like, oh, that's why he's holding a grudge against us, and we've also been played by Maki and Oil. And then we see Oil discovering that the jig is up, but it's too late, because I guess that means that like Granolah is not going to stop fighting them, and also I'm assuming the distraction here is going to give them time to get the Dragon Balls, because it was revealed that Alec and Gas are on their way to Cereal as well, so they're definitely going to pull something when they get there, and I doubt they're going to directly try to engage Goku and Vegeta and Granolah. But anyway, Goku's like, so I guess we gotta try to convince him that the Saiyans aren't bad guys nowadays. And Vegeta's like, I doubt it would matter. He's hoping to drive the Saiyans to extinction by killing us. So then Goku's like, so I gotta beat him first, then we convince him. And then he decides that, like, you know, I gotta use full power Ultra Instinct to go against this guy, and that's exactly what he does. And once he does that, Granolah is no longer able to pick up on his vital points. Going back to what Granolah said earlier about my right eye will always lock onto your vital points. Clearly, Ultra Instinct doesn't play by those rules. Then he starts making Granolah look like a complete amateur like he usually does against his opponents when he activates full power Ultra Instinct. Then he shows us something new by just completely stopping Granolah with telekinesis and like just, you know, manhandles him with it. I think Goku only uses like telekinesis maybe once or twice in the series from what I could remember. I like it. It's different and it's showing us more layers to what Goku is like capable of in using like full power Ultra Instinct. Like before going against Moro, we saw that he could make like that energy kaiju thing. Then he's pretty much defeated Granolah at this point, but we're coming to the big twist of the chapter and it's revealed that this wasn't actually Granolah, but it was a perfect clone of him that he made by splitting his power in half. So yeah, that's right. We haven't been seeing like full power Granolah, and the fact that this was only half of his power and he was that competitive against Blue is pretty telling of the full power of Granolah, I guess. Then we come to the ultimate level of power in the Dragon Ball world, and I said one of the strongest in my previous review was like vital point manipulation stuff, and that is true, but the absolute pinnacle of power is simply someone letting their guard down. And that's exactly what Goku is doing here, and he gets one-shotted by a vital point strike from Granolah here, despite still being in full power Ultra Instinct. And just like that, it instantly reduces him to his base form, and then he gets leveled by like a 1-inch punch and goes flying, and once again, down for the count. Like, a character letting their guard down in Dragon Ball is so detrimental that I think you could probably kill Goku with a butter knife if you wanted to. But then Granolah starts walking down Goku and he says, I decided to have you fight that clone in order to save my strength for Freiza, which worked for me since your accuracy drops over time in that silver-haired form. So that's pretty interesting. I don't think that was revealed before, right? I mean, I knew there was the stamina part of it, obviously, but the accuracy dropping over time is an interesting development and probably needed considering how ridiculously powerful it is right now. But that raises the question. It's like, can full power Ultra Instinct Goku still go against full power Granolah? Well, I think they want you to think that, because in a way Goku is kind of protected by this outcome because, you know, his guard was down. So I don't think there's like a real definitive answer right now, but it seems like, you know, maybe they're somewhat relative. And then Vegeta steps up and Granolah's like, I'm not picky about which one of you dies first. And Vegeta's like, die, why don't you? Go on, join the rest of your tribe. And that obviously triggers Granolah, and Vegeta ends the chapter by saying the tribe that's about to go extinct is the Ceruleans, and then we see his destroyer earring blink. So hopefully this means that Vegeta is going to use Granolah's emotions against him, and that's how he'll be able to, I'm not gonna say defeat him, but get the upper hand on him, which is interesting because that's kind of been Vegeta's detriment throughout the series, right? Him getting a little too worked up and fighting emotionally against his opponents, but now he's using that to his favor. With that being said, there's just no way I think Vegeta could win this, simply because his track record is so awful, and it seems like Toyotaro and Toriyama maybe don't even want Vegeta to have a big win, or it doesn't matter to them. I don't know. I'm just not gonna get my hopes up. I hope he does, but probably not gonna happen. But let me know what you think about this in the comments. If you liked the video, guys, please give it a like and please subscribe if you haven't already. Have a great day, and I'll see you next one.